Hello viewers, I'm SB and welcome back to Total War Warhammer 2. I'm concerned about these vampires. I'm concerned about these vampires and I'm concerned about these orcs to our south, and I think we need to start looking into the possibility of running a second army. So here's how that works. We go down here, we recruit a lord from one of our settlements, and we have to pay a recruitment cost for the lord. The lord has upkeep themselves, and then having an additional army increases our total army upkeep by 15%. And this, I believe, stacks multiplicatively over having even more armies, over future armies. So more armies means significant increase in expenses. We are going to be paying an extra 695 gold per turn for the new army before it has any units in it. Which means that financially speaking, we just can't run a second army anytime soon. So, we had to focus on money. We had to fix that problem. There are two things here that we really need to do. We need to get our trade goods online, and then we also just need to get harvesting the golden idols. Not just because they're trade goods, but because I'm sure that the production building for golden idols will produce a lot of gold. So we need to make some room in Karakongor. As it is, I think we're actually pretty reliant on the public order bonus from this refectory, so I don't really want to pull that down. But we have a friend. All of the roads into Karakongor are guarded by friends. I think we can probably afford to break down this recruitment building. I don't think we're going to need to build any troops in this province anytime soon. So I'll break that down. We'll replace it with the Golden Idol recruitment building, or recruitment. And we're sort of recruiting them. I think we're going to leave this slot open for now. Well, we could move the refectory. Demolish the refectory in Karakongor and build a new one here, but I don't think that that's necessary right now, and it will cost us money, right? I should note, we also have access to this building. This is okay. It's not great. Income from trade up faction-wide means eventually we will have these buildings everywhere, but for right now, I don't know that the amount of money that this produces is worth the 1,230 gold it costs. Not right at this second, anyway. And then, Nashrek's Lair, when we finish this upgrade, we gotta build the dye harvesting building. And in Karak-Kadrin, we probably want to build a defensive building sometime soon. We really just need to get another level of growth on Karak-Kadrin. That's gonna require 4 surplus population, which is gonna be a while even with our growth-focused building. So I guess that's all we're doing for now. I'm definitely like, hold on a second, let's pop into diplomacy mode here and see what's what. First of all, it looks like the dwarves are really not doing that well. I thought that this extra patch of dwarf land meant that they were expanding to the southwest, but what it actually means is that they are getting cut in half by the Bloody Spears. We really have to do something about them. They are gonna get out of control with all this land. What is their strength rank currently? Oh, it's actually pretty bad. So they don't have a lot of, they have a lot of territory, but not a lot of armies. That's actually, this is probably exactly the time for us to march on them. Kislev is strong. We know some Norskins for some reason. We can see these guys just past Kislev. Not exactly terrifying. The vampire counts are strength rank 4. Something to be concerned about, certainly. Like I said, they have other problems. There's a lot of stuff going on in Vampire Town right now. And most of their friendly territory, most of their pleasant climate stuff, I should say, is to their north and their west. So there's a chance they'll just ignore us. They might just, if we don't mess with them, it's possible they won't mess with us. And I'm kind of hoping that's going to be the case because we really want to take our army south. These Bloody Spears are already at war with us. And we know they don't care for dwarves very much. So I think it's in our best interest to head south and start fighting them, especially now while they're overextended. We might be able to save the main dwarf faction. Not that I particularly want to save them, but I also don't want them to get wiped out. What I want is for them to be alive, but a lot weaker than us, and then to accede to a demand of confederation. Because if we confederate them, we'll get their legendary lord and all their stuff. Mostly I'm concerned about the legendary lord. The territory we can take, new armies we can build ourselves, but I can't remember what his name is, but the dwarf legendary lord, the the king of that faction is quite a good unit.
One rag. Got then.
I guess, actually, I want to run this way, huh?
Forwards.
There are roads on the ground, and you do move faster along the road. If you're wondering why the path that it draws is always so twisty, it's because it's trying to follow the road for maximum movement. Alright, so here in Karak Ungor, we are going to make a gold mining pit. 600 income and also some amount of golden idols. That thing pays itself off almost immediately. So we also have the money to upgrade this, giving us access to the cannon and the more Thunderers. I do like Thunderers better than Quarrelers in general, I think. There's something to be said for the fact that Quarrelers can fire when they don't have direct line of sight. But there are a lot of heavily armored orc units. Eventually we're going to start running into black orcs and stuff, and at that time we're really going to want to have Thunderers. So yeah, let's go ahead and commit to this Gunsmith's Forge. How many turns are we looking at on the gold mine? Ugh, 3. Alright, well. Is what it is, I suppose. So in a minute here, we're going to have the Runesmith break off from the army and run over to Jufbar by himself. I'm debating whether I want him to go kind of the long way to get us a little bit of information about what's going on in the Vampire Lands. No, I think if we're planning a march on the Bloody Spears, we should probably get intel on Bloody Spears movement, so we'll send him down through the pass here. Is he faster than the army is? It looks like he is, actually. He has a little bit of movement left on his own. We'll just have him run out, because we want to get moving on this quest for our crown. And when we hit 200 Oath Gold, we're going to have to consider whether we want to build a really fancy piece of armor or something, or whether we want to save up for 300 and try to get one of those legendaries going. The flow of Oath Gold has slowed tremendously now that we're not getting new grudges all the time. Not that I want the book to be full of grudges, but you know, it is useful as motivation. Also, it looks like some of the blue on the map has disappeared. Yep, Blood River Valley was lost. The dwarf faction is down to 1 region. I wonder if they would consider Confederation now. Also, I wonder if it would be a good idea to confederate them now, given, you know, the 1 settlement and everything. But we should see. Let's ask them. Because I believe it is the case that if we confederate them now, we get their legendary lord, and then we lose that settlement, we still have the legendary lord. You know, he'll be wounded like our Runesmith was when he narrowly survived that assassination attempt, and then we'll just have him forever. If we're going to run a second army, it may as well be run by the king of the dwarves, right? Whatever the Varg are doing, it's taken the game a long time to put it together. Yeah, let's have a chat with them. How you guys feeling? Strength rank 82.
Welcome, friends of the Dowie.
They would consider it. So when you confederate another faction, you take some penalties for a little while to prevent you from just like power confederating through a bunch of people, and that might put us in danger. But I'm gonna hit this. I'm gonna see if he'll take it. Thorgrim Grudgebearer. That's the name of the character I was talking about. Okay, cool. So we got ourselves a new dude. So, we're taking some penalties because now we have multiple very weak armies. Oh, Grumbrindle the White Dwarf. Okay, we picked up 2 new legendary lords. We're going to have to get rid of some of this stuff.
I'm here now.
Let's see. So the AI levels up the units, levels up their heroes in a pretty random way. We managed to get this guy before he spent too many skill points. Hold on, we'll look at his stuff in a second here. Thorgrim is already level 10. He took full points in Mason, which is not exactly great. And full points in Axe Lord, plus attack and defense for Dwarf Warriors and Miners. That's not so bad. That's fine. He got the quest for... Does he already have his axe? He does already have his legendary axe. Okay, that's pretty cool. He's got a lot of stuff going on here, actually. Confident Attacker, Orcsbane, Butcher, Engineer. Yeah, this is a good confederation. I know our money's looking kind of weird, but we're gonna disband these armies probably. At least one of them. So, I'm gonna take Oath of Forging on this guy. I'm not exactly sure what we want to do with him. Oh, interesting. He doesn't have the plus movement skill as the first point in his blue line, the thing that everybody else has. He's kind of a weird... Look at how few blue skills he has. Lightning Strike at the top of the tree. How strange. +1 global recruitment capacity. That's a pretty cool skill. Casualty replenishment rate for all characters faction-wide. What is the story with this guy? I do not know that much about the Warhammer Fantasy Dwarves. This guy seems like a weird dude. I'm going to take Legendary Commerce, because plus 20% trade income seems extremely good for a skill point. And then, what am I going to do here? How do I want to manage these? So we're probably going to lose this this region immediately. Bloody Spears have a lone hero. And then, unfortunately, we have no vision of this army, so we can't tell what's in it. I might just disband both of these armies and allow Karaz-Karak to fall. It'll give us a grudge. We'll have to move south quickly to prevent that grudge from becoming a real problem for us. This place has a gemstone deposit, but no mine. Seems like an odd choice to me. Okay, if we think we're probably going to lose this, we probably want to just pull some of the buildings. Because you get a portion of the money back when you demolish a building. So we're not going to lose it next turn. Let's demolish the stuff that's worth a lot of money. Do I want to keep recruitment structures up? Maybe we could hold it. I think I'm going to disband this Spoilers with great weapons. Yeah, I think I'm going to disband this army. Because we need to... we need to not be running 1,299 extra gold of upkeep. I'm not sure... Is there a button for Disband Army, or do I have to just... I mean, this'll work. We do this, and then... there's a button in here, right? Okay. So I have to replace this lord with a different lord and then I'm not sure if this is right. It feels to me incorrect to have to replace this lord with a different lord and then press a button after that to disband the army, but it does kind of seem like the only way to do it. They do it from the forces panel, maybe? No, that's not going to help. Yeah, alright. I guess we'll try that. It's going to cost us a little bit of money up front, though, right? Because we have to pay for the new lord. So they had a bunch of armies going. We have some characters that are already built up a little bit. Hold on. What's our financial situation right now? 413, 440. So we're still negative. We have another runesmith here, a level 4 runesmith who... okay, has pretty reasonable skill points. So we don't actually have the money to replace this guy, is what I'm... oh, I already did replace him, apparently. But now we disband, and there we go. We're negative, but we're not massively negative. We can figure it out.
Much?
It recalculated. We're no longer negative. Everything's fine. Weird.
Will binds me to you. Forwards!
Alright, like I said, I suspect that we are going to lose that. Oh, I thought we could go around in a different way than it turns out we are having to go.
Beards in belts.
And apparently the hero is not faster than the army in march mode, but when the army in march mode does its full movement, the hero has extra... He was able to move out of the army after we did a full march move, which I assumed meant that he had more movement speed than the army in march mode, but apparently not. So actually he should just rejoin the army next turn. Yeah, we'll just sit here in Karaz-Karak and make them come and get us, I guess? We're going to get a big gold infusion from this stuff. We're going to replace one of these with the gemstone mine. I don't know, we might be able to hold that. It might actually be, this might actually have been a thing that was worth doing immediately from an economic perspective. Although we do have a public order penalty from Confederation as well. We'll look at that in a moment here. We also have a lot more awareness of what's going on to the south, which is kind of a mixed blessing, because obviously intel is always good, but it does mean that our enemy turns are going to be a little bit longer as we watch stuff happen. And I think we should watch stuff happen. Tempelhof was well and truly destroyed, and the vampire counts have declared war on one of our trading partners, which is not great for us. We're not making a ton of money from trade right now, but those trade relationships will become more valuable over time as we acquire more goods. I'd like them to still be intact, and by them I mean both the trade arrangements and our trade partners. And actually, we've met a couple of new factions now due to having all of the connections that the dwarves previously had. So we might be able to get some more trade going. I bet that we can't trade with Eckendorf because we would need to hold Varinka Hills first, but we can certainly attempt that. Okay, we have a hero down here that we should probably run back home because he's just going to get assassinated. They're trying, they're doing their best. They can't quite figure it out. I'm glad I was paying attention. We very well might have lost action to this lost access to this faction permanently if we hadn't swooped in at exactly that moment. Well, maybe we had a turn or two there. So he's been the target of multiple unsuccessful assassination attempts, and he's gained an increased chance of wounding people who attempt to assassinate him. We finished Oaths of Loyalty. This is a good time for it. And the Powerful Engineers Guild has sent one of their top tinkerers to inspect this hold's workshops after hearing concerning rumors of innovation. On his arrival, he is so impressed with the work that he decides to stay. So you might think that this is kind of strange because dwarves obviously are coming up with new machines and stuff, but actually, a lot of the machines that dwarves have access to are designs that the dwarf race has known for a long time. They are distrustful of new things.
What needs to be done?
We got ourselves an engineer here, a master engineer. He gives plus leadership to all the units in his army. That's pretty cool. He has the... Okay, he has a passive that boosts income in the region that he's in. He can temporarily increase our research rate by stealing technology from our enemies. He can slow other armies. Okay. And while he's in an army, he increases its movement range. I like that a lot. And then reload time reduction for every unit in his army seems great. Extra ammo for all of the ranged units in his army. Extra damage for all of the ranged units in the army. Okay, Master Engineers seem like very good heroes. Here's the question. Do I want to run him... Since he's already at Karat Kadron, it's going to be a little tough for him to catch up. Do I want to just run him south around to Jufbar? Yeah, let's try it. Trespassing may have diplomatic repercussions. That's true, I guess. They already don't like us. Maybe I should try not to upset them? I mean, armies... trespassing refers to army movement, but he might still get bad. Like, we won't suffer a negative diplomatic modifier automatically the way we would with moving armies through, but he still might get mad at us for having potentially hostile agents in his territory. Let's try to catch the engineer up with the army. Alright, so, the Confederation penalty. We have a temporary penalty to diplomatic relations with other dwarf realms because of our sudden expansionistic nature, and a -8 public order penalty, which means actually we can't really move forward. Yeah, we gotta fall back.
Seek our doom.
We gotta keep Ungram Iron Fist over here. Alright, public order is positive as long as we're in a settlement here. Looks like it won't take too many moves for our runesmith to reach Jufbar, and I don't see any armies up here. We might be able to take some territory off the Bloody Spears right away. Well, right away. You know, once the Confederation penalty is not going to cause us to go into rebellion. Alright, one more turn until that's ready. We're just doing a lot of waiting here. We made a lot of money off the deconstruction of those buildings. And let's put up a gem mine shaft. Another 300 income. And it lowers the recruitment cost for certain units in the region. That's interesting. What else do we have access to here? This Karaza Karak is sort of like the capital of dwarf country, so we have access to some special landmark buildings. An airfield. Wow, plus 5% movement for all armies everywhere is a pretty good bonus. I don't really know a lot about gyrocopters and gyro bombers. I don't think I've even seen those used by dwarf armies that were my enemies in the campaign. And eventually the Throne Hall of the High King, which gives plus 2 order faction-wide, plus 10 in this region. Extra taxes. Okay. Yeah. This is an important place. I note that we can't build a defensive structure here, which seems a little odd to me. There's no slot for walls. I guess the natural garrison, because it's an important capital, the natural garrison is so high. Yeah, we have a 16-unit garrison here. Okay, well, who knows? Maybe we can actually hold this. We need to give Thorgrim some backup, though. All right, where's my agent in here? He's like...
I answer to clan and hold.
This guy is a Thane. We haven't seen any Thanes yet. He spent some skill points on a trait that gives units in his army XP, and then he ran out by himself and is not part of an army. I think we're just going to bring this dude home. As much as I like having the intel, I'm pretty sure that all that's going to happen out here is he's going to get killed. Alright, you just stay alive, Thorgrim. We're coming. We're not coming, like, rapidly, but we're coming. Okay, we definitely need more public order. I think this is good. We're about to get access to some really, really good trade resources, which will help with our economy. Yeah, if we can just hold out. The Bloody Spears are not nearly as dangerous as I thought they were. We could probably take a bunch of territory from them. I think we can probably march out again this coming turn, or maybe next turn. I know the public order is still going to plummet, but I think it won't actually get all the way to negative 100. Ah, they got him. He didn't make it back to town in time. It was just a wound, though? Alright, he'll be back. He's fine. No more than, what do we see here? Yeah, it's no more than, like, 4 arrows. That's not a big deal. You can't kill a dwarf with 4 arrows. So actually, with a 16-unit garrison behind a wall, this is quite secure. The Bloody Spears would probably have to bring 2 stacks to have a reasonable chance of taking it. Stack and a half, at least. And there's a pretty good chance that they can't generate that if they also have to defend themselves from the north. Although, never mind, they have already generated it. Oh, they have 2 full stacks here now. So Sour recruited 8 units over the last turn, and then also another full 20 stack came out of nowhere somehow. Oh no, they have a guy coming forward to try to wound our Rune Lord so he doesn't make it to Jufbar. I wonder if he can move far enough this turn. I hope he can move far enough this turn, because I don't want to get involved in a thing with this Goblin Agent. Our chance of wounding another player's agent is still low enough that there's real good odds that we would attempt an attack, it would fail, and then they would immediately assassinate us in response. Okay, I think there's pretty good odds here that we are, in fact... Okay, where's the line? I actually don't see... Is this the line between Jufbar and this province? Yep, here we are in the Rib Peaks. Here we are in Jufbar. So no, I do not quite make it. What's the odds of taking this guy down? 58%? Alright, let's go for it. Because if I try to just run past him, I'm not going to make it to where we're going, and then he's just going to stab me in the back. Okay, I failed my wound attempt. But we moved forward enough that we will be able to make it into Jufbar next turn, So now we just have to hope that his wound attempt fails.
Ready to do the guild's bidding. Forwards!
So if we move out of here, we'll plummet by like 9 points, right? We went from -8 to +1 when we stepped in. So no, we can't leave yet. We can't endure 3 turns of -10 public order. Okay, let's get this going. The actual income from this building isn't very impressive, but the trade resource will be helpful. Finish that, and we could go for an upgrade. 2,000 gold down for another 300 income per turn. Yep, let's do that for sure.
To war.
So yeah, unfortunately, Ungrim just has to sit here. We could be using this as recruitment time, but I don't really want to damage our income anymore. So we could try to bail out with Thorgrim.
Retake the realm!
Like I said before, legendary lords cannot be actually killed. So after losing this battle, he'll simply become wounded and then become available as recruitment for our next army. So basically, what I'm saying is, I don't know that I think it's worth it for him to run. So we're making 900 gold per turn from this province. When we lose this province, we will be in negative income as long as we still have a second army.
One rug!
We're not going to be able to hold this. I'm just going to go ahead and disband this guy. We're just going to get rid of this army. And then we will replace you with some random dude. Oh yeah, that guy who just came back from being wounded.
Time for a reckoning.
Because we don't have to pay him an initial recruitment cost. Okay. Let's take a turn of really good income. Karak will fall in a second here, which is a shame, but what are you going to do? And then we have a ton of money to work with. What's growth looking like in Karak? Okay, we're about to hit 2 points of population surplus, so actually, this upgrade isn't that far off. It is nice to have good growth. If they come at Karak with 2 stacks, I'm not even going to fight the battle. There's a chance that we could hold off a larger force than our garrison, but I don't think we're going to be able to hold off 40 units. So we'll just hit auto-resolve, let it fall. If they decide to get gutsy and attack us with just the first stack, I will fight that battle. If we could break down that first stack and hold the region for a little while longer, it will produce more money for us. Maybe they'll get overconfident? I suspect probably not. But I'm pretty happy with having acquired a couple of legendary characters.
No doubt of a request,
what does
I'll
Kislev
hear it
want? A defensive alliance. I don't really know what's going on all of your borders, so I think no. I do think it's kind of annoying that they, like, when you refuse a diplomatic treaty, they threaten you almost always, even if you're extremely friendly. I feel like there should be more lines, especially since most of them aren't voiced. What a weird army. Did you see that guy? That guy's army is almost entirely wolf cavalry? So, you can sally out with the garrison of a region to attack things that are close enough to the settlement. So we could run out and attack the sieging force. I don't really think that's worth doing in this case. Because I'm sure that, well, I guess we should look at the composition of this other army. I wasn't really looking at it as they approached. If they're all... Okay, Ungrim spent multiple turns of march stance and his army has gotten faster. That's pretty handy. Yeah, we have a grudge issued because they're raiding us, and yeah, we'll deal with it. We'll deal with it. Okay, this is more of a real army. They got some boys and some skulkers. We probably don't want to sally out because I think we have a better chance of winning this battle in the settlement than we do out there, especially with all of this backup cavalry. I would much rather fight this cavalry during a settlement battle than during an open field battle. Okay, and they did not even attempt to wound our guy, which means we make it to Jufbar. Maybe they ran out of money. Carry out a successful assassination attempt against one character belonging to an undead race. Ooh. Ungrim's agents send word that they have tracked two of the cloaked figures who appear to be necromancers and have worked out likely locations where they might be cornered. There seems to be no good reason for the necromancers to be roaming the high peaks, and Ungrim sends word for his agents to act against them to put an end to whatever scheme they are engaged in. Okay, we can try that. We'll just run up through the pass here.
I'm moving.
Also, this is interesting. So this used to be owned by the vampires. What happened here? This army is a rebel army. You can tell by the unusual flag, greenskin rebels. What happened here is the vampires suffered enough public order penalties from a combination of the region being unsuitable and them not caring enough about fixing public order for a rebellion to spawn, and the rebellion was able to take the settlement from them. That's good for us, actually, because it means that we can take Oakenhammer without having to fight the vampires for it. Ideally, we would be able to take this whole province. Where's Carrick Dromar? I was going to say, ideally, we'd be able to take this whole province without having to fight any vampires, because I really don't want to have to declare war on them. We'll see how things work out.
Ready.
So this guy's going to run up. We're going to have to attempt assassination on their agents, which will definitely get them angry. We might want to, as soon as Thorgrim's available again, it might be worth it for us to start rebuilding a new army in Carrick Cadron led by him. It'll be a couple of turns.
Onward.
Let's see. Nashrek's Lair is getting 8 public order from our presence plus 8 public order from the presence of the army plus 2 from the characters. So if we left now... we would go pretty negative, and then when the Confederation event wears off, we're actually not positive, right? No, after the Confederation event wears off, without this army present, we're still slightly negative in this region. We probably need to think about building a public order building in this province. We certainly have the money to do some upgrades, so continuing to upgrade this chain. Yeah, it just makes it produce more money and more trade goods. Nothing fancy comes from it, like a reduction in the cost of certain units or anything. Well, we should probably upgrade this the rest of the way, so we have access to another type of ground unit. Longbeards, I think, are just better than Dwarf Warriors. I don't know, we'll compare stats in a little bit, but we should probably do this. And I think we're gonna stay in place here for at least one more turn. Oh, okay. We're starting to suffer corruption, so I guess this is the time to start talking about this. What you see down here is the corruption level of the province. There are 4 different types of corruption. Chaos corruption, vampire corruption, Skaven corruption, and then untainted, which functions as a type of corruption, effectively from a rules standpoint. So every faction has a preferred type of corruption. For most of the factions, it's untainted. Most factions would like their stuff to be untainted. As corruption leaks in from other places, armies will spread corruption of the type that they are set to. So like vampires spread vampire corruption, obviously. You can see we have 2 vampire corruption in this province here, in Peak Pass, from proximity to heavy vampire corruption. And then 8 untainted corruption from our buildings and our populace naturally being untainted. So the corruption percentage in a region will naturally trend toward reflecting the percentage of corruption points in the region. We are going to have to do something about this, because 20% corruption is pretty bad for us. We're already suffering, you can see the last line here, we're already suffering public order penalties from having even 3% of the wrong type, and it gets worse. When corruption in a region gets high, armies that are not of the correct type start to suffer attrition, the public order penalties get really harsh. So we're going to have to start worrying about that. Fortunately, we're moving toward settlement level 4, and the Grimnir's Monument of Carrick Cadron has some extra points of Untainted on it to help us fight back the vampire nonsense. We also have access to a commandment. Oh, we're on the commandment that gives untainted. All right. Yeah, this is not great. We're gonna have to deal with these vampires sooner or later. Probably sooner. I'm not happy with that. We have another set of problems. All right, I think this coming turn it'll be reasonably safe for us to leave Nashrak's lair without having to worry about a massive rebellion. The vampires want to take Oakenhammer back. They should have no problem with that. Oh, they just burned it to the ground. Well, as they learned their lesson. I wonder if that army has a hero in it that we could attempt to wound. Man, attempting an assassination against... We might hold off on this quest a little bit, because attempting an assassination against these vampires is very likely to end up getting us into a war, and I'm not in a position to fight that war right now. No defensive alliances with strangers, sorry. So we still have a lot of work to do securing the home front, right? We gotta deal with these bloody spears. We gotta try to take and hold Karazakarak in some kind of permanent way. And then once we do that, we have to start actually looking around the world. I'm not sure where all of the target provinces are, where all of our objective provinces, I should say, are. I know some of the provinces on that list were just stuff in this big mountain range here, where that we started at the north end of. But we should actually have a look at where everything is. Not that it's super relevant right now. Okay, one of our lords is back. Oh, it's the Wolf Raiders thing again. Well, we are definitely allowing the raid to remain. And Ungrim Iron Fist is even better at, let's say, gently provoking public order. So yeah, let's have a look at this real quick. Objectives, victory conditions. So we hold these two. Jufbar, of course, is right there. The Rib Peaks is this region right now, or right here that's controlled by the Bloody Spears. Giant Home is far to the north. The Northern Grey Mountains are out west. This is where this mountain range is between the Empire and the Wood Elves. We do have to eliminate one of the Wood Elf factions, so we were coming over here anyway. The Southern Grey Mountains. The Southlands World's Edge Mountains. Oh, okay, all the way at the bottom of the map. Well, we are headed in that direction. Okay, Charnel Valley, which is between here and there. The Atalan Mountains, which are pretty far away. Spine of Sotek, which is, on the other continent, the far southwest corner of the map. Oh, I guess we are really going on tour. The Obsidian Mountains and the... Okay. It's kind of cool, though. This is a neat thematic victory condition. Own all of the world's important mountain ranges as dwarves.
Darkness comes.
They do have a hero. We could attempt to wound him. I don't know. I don't know if it's a good idea. What are the stats on this thing? 5 public order in the local province. Plus 5 untainted. 10% ward save. So he just takes 10% less damage once he has this. Extra armor and melee attack. This is a very good item. But if the vampires wipe it out, if the vampires completely wipe us out, who's gonna wear it? Is my question. Man, we're 13 turns off of being at 3 population surplus, and then we still need another point after that. Is it worth upgrading this? It's not really that expensive. It's only 8 more growth. It is also extra replenishment rate for armies in the province. It's pretty minor. So we'd be adding 8 growth to 52 growth. You know what? That actually is going to reduce the number of turns it takes us to get to 4 population surplus by a fair number. Do I want to finish upgrading this? So the big value of getting to level 3 with the garrison building on a minor settlement is it puts walls on the settlement. AI armies will almost never attack a walled settlement on the turn that they get to it, even if they have siege attacker. When there are walls in the way, the AI wants a massive, like, incredibly overwhelming force before they'll attack. So, building the guard hall would give us time to respond to attacks on Nashrak's lair. If our army's striking deep into Bloody Spear's territory, we can't necessarily guarantee that stuff won't just run past us, right? Like, if we go to Grom Peak, stuff could run up from Mount Gunbad, or vice versa. I think we'd go to Mount Gunbad first, because they have a place where we could construct a gold mine. Yeah, we should do this, for safety. I hate to have to spend the money, but I think we do have to spend the money. And I think we're going to sit one more turn. Let's just let the Confederation penalty run all the way out. I think we're not going to attempt the vampire kill here.
Speak thy insults, Stuntling. Let me hear thy pleas.
Negative 64. They actually like us fighting the Bloody Spears. Maybe if we don't upset them anymore and we push south really hard, maybe we could get this approval from fighting the Bloody Spears high enough to maybe secure a non-aggression pact. It's not likely, but it's not impossible. Let's have a look. Like you guys like. All right, it's hard to know exactly how much war with the Bloody Spears could end up being worth because we haven't really done anything against them yet. Wow, we met a lot of factions by taking over Dwarfland. Well, let's see if we can secure some pacts.
Greetings, stranger.
So be it.
Okay, and they're having some of the same problems we're having. You can see Greenskins taking their territory and stuff, so... Maybe the Border Princes will eventually become a good trading partner, you know, once we actually make our way over to them. Anybody else want to be friends?
Who calls?
Come then. Only Sigma's god.
Oh, we already have a non-aggression pact with these guys. You can see the you can see the difference that having some treaties makes. Okay, the Empire as a whole is fairly positive on us. They're at plus 13. We might be able to secure a pact here.
Empire's blessings, yes.
Alright, good. That'll be helpful. The Empire is probably going to grow to be a fairly large and impressive faction, and it's good to get them on our good side now. Or get on their good side now.
It is time.
So this dude, I think, is just going to come home.
A wise direction.
We'll worry about our crown later. Try not to provoke a massive vampire war while our army is out doing other stuff. But we do need to start putting that second army together, and we're pretty close to having Thorgrim back, but the moment we recruit that second army, we're going to stop making all of this beautiful money. So I think I'm going to try to delay on that as long as I feel that it is safe. We really, really, really need to stockpile. Especially considering after we start the army, we're going to have to recruit units for it, which... you pay a lot more in upkeep than you do in recruitment cost for a unit over the, the course of its lifetime, usually. But it's still expensive. It's an expensive endeavor to initially outfit an army. Bloody Spears have officially declared war on the Border Princes. The Bloody Spears have 3 full armies. It seems like they really like wolf cavalry. Alright, so let's just get a quick read on them. Yeah, they really like wolf cavalry. The funny thing is, wolf cavalry is actually pretty bad at fighting dwarves. You can see melee attack, melee defense, and weapon strength are all quite poor. These are units that are intended to like charge into enemies, but charging into a dwarf rarely makes things better. You will wish that you were still far away. They've been sieging us down, which is why our army is all messed up. I'm just going to let them have it. Yeah, you guys win. That's a grudge. We got some good stuff out of this Confederation. I'm happy that we did it. Please don't wound him. Okay, their goblin is just tracking us. He's not attempting any aggressive moves, which seems very strange to me. They must be really low on money. The only thing I can think of is that they're really low on money. Because we know that the AI loves to have agents attempt assassinations even if they're not likely to succeed. Some games you will see that happen like over and over and over again. Yep, grudge issued. This grudge is going to get a little bit of age on it, get a little bit of severity. The Sword of Cain has been claimed by another. Doom stalks the world once more unless you can wrest it from them. Cain is an elf god. Zoom to location? What is this? Oh, some kind of crazy stuff is happening over by the Vortex. There's some elf nonsense occurring. Well, Grombrindle's ready for duty. Okay. You know what? I don't have time for elf nonsense right now. That's just not the place that we are in.
I grow restless.
Okay, so public order's in a much better place. Vampire corruption is a serious problem. But I think we gotta march. We gotta try to take Mount Gunbad now while they're distracted. Man, they have a lot of units.
What?
Aye,
I think that's still, yeah, that's within his movement range.
agreed. I've cast the runes.
Okay, Mount Gunbad has some kind of landmark building in it. That's what this icon usually means. It has a wall, but there's only 9 units in the garrison, and all of their armies are currently busy, so we can take this. Whether we can hold it for a long time is another matter, but they're pretty far away. We might be able to take the Rib Peaks before they can get over here. And next turn is when What's-His-Face is available again? Wait, where'd he go? Huh, Grombrindle's available. Where did Thorgrim disappear to? He's not on our list. Is he still in the recruit list? Yeah, okay. 2 turns. I think we're gonna wait the 2 turns. I do want Grombrindle out here. He seems neat, but reinforcement range. Oh, okay. This is the range that that little red circle around the army. Okay. Anyway, I think we have no other changes that we want to make right now. We're just, at this point, just waiting for Carrick Cadron to generate population. Alright, we might be able to end the episode by taking over Mount Gunbad. That seems like a reasonably significant event. So how are we doing on public order here now that I've left? We're slightly negative. We are currently researching a tech that gives 2 public order in all of our provinces, so that'll solve this for the moment. As corruption keeps climbing, though, it's going to become a problem. We're going to have to build a dwarf beer building in this province, probably. Or we're going to have to reclaim Karaza Karak and build up that public order in all regions building. So now we have a couple of grudges that are going to be kind of hard to satisfy. They're going to take some work to satisfy. That also is going to be a problem because the severity of those grudges is going to creep upward over time. I guess this will be good information at least, because I don't really know how quickly that number climbs. We're going to find out. And Gorbird's Backbiter is just going to follow us around. We could have somebody attempt to wound him again, but remember that using the wound ability costs the hero all of their movement for the turn, and we really want these heroes to stay with us as we attack Mount Gunbad. And we're not going to bother with siege or anything. We can take a 9-unit garrison the moment we touch the walls. The enemy has wronged us, but righting this grudge will cost us deeply, perhaps too deeply. Maybe just this once we should ignore the slight and focus on the grander objective? That doesn't sound very dwarfy. So we can right the wrong. There is nothing more important than avenging every grudge. Recruitment cost up, leadership up, or honor is all. Foolish dwarf? Of course the grudge was... Yeah, okay. Alright, I get the joke. That's funny. Honor is all, it turns out. The wrongs must be put right. Also, the High King's authority has been researched, and we actually have the High King in our faction now, so that's good. We've gained a follower.
Yes.
Hey, new guy. Do you have an archivist working for you? You do not. Even more faction research rate. Also, our Rune Lord has gained a level from passive XP. Charge bonus seems like the least valuable thing on a dwarf. We don't do a lot of charging people. So can we reach the settlement in normal move mode? We can. All right. Oh wait, I have just the hero selected. Hold on a second here. The whole army. No, the whole army cannot quite get where we're going. Alright, next turn. So you can see, because we can't actually attack, we have to stop at the edge of the red circle area. And I think for now, we're invested in just saving gold, because like I said, it's going to be an expensive thing to outfit this army. Oh, hey, right, the Thane that got wounded is back. Well, what do I want to do with you? So he is increasing public order in the province by 1 just by standing here. Do I want him to just, like, stand over on the border and wait for vampires to show up and then try to assassinate their lords and stuff? Or their heroes? Or should we... I think we should try to meet him up with the army. Yeah, this is the guy who has training and hard to hit, yeah. He should meet up with the army. We'll just be okay with losing access to his public order gain. And, now that we've done this, I have no idea what to pursue now. We should probably try to pursue stuff that gains us money. Trade income. Income from gold mines. We actually have a gold mine now. 5% is a fair amount. When the upgrade finishes, it's generating 900 per turn, so this is an extra 45. What's beyond this? Income from other buildings up. Construction costs down for everything. That's pretty good. Additional mine income. Oh wow. Okay, there's a line of mine income things. Yeah, let's pursue mine income because we're about to have 2 gold mines. Whether we can hold Mount Gunbad, I have no idea, but we're about to have it. Yeah, man, as soon as we start recruiting this second army, we're going to be out of money all the time, just like we were at the beginning of the game. So let's give ourselves every chance to build up a little bit. So if all of their armies are down here right now, they're probably going to come up to the south toward Grom Peak. Us taking Mount Gunbad might actually... There's a bunch of like little mountain passes and stuff. Us taking Mount Gunbad might divert their forces because they might see like, oh, it's a dwarf settlement way out on the edge of their territory. We could probably take that. And so we might actually mess with their pathing by doing this, which is another good reason to get Mount Gunbad as quickly as possible. Not that we needed one. I don't know how we're going to fight a force that has 3 armies. I mean, we have Lightning Strike, right? So when they show up, we'll be able to pick one army to go up against, and then pick another army to go up against one-on-one. But I don't know that I win a battle with 3 consecutive battles with orc armies, even if wolf cavalry are really, really weak against dwarves. You know, attrition is going to take its toll. Alright, let's get ourselves a gold mine. Thorgrim's ready for battle, and we're probably going to want to go ahead and recruit him, but that is a slightly in the future sort of problem.
The Slayer in me seeks death.
Let's do this. So 3 units of Biggins, 3 units of Night Goblin Archers, yeah. We don't need to build siege anything, we got this. This battle it's going to be a lot like the last settlement battle we fought, except they're going to have even fewer units, and we have even more. We have an extra hero we didn't have before, who's going to make our artillery more effective, and... yeah, this should be easy. And it's a very similar settlement map. This time the side gate is out rather than recessed, but I don't think that changes anything about our strategy. I think we want to do basically the same thing here. I don't know. I didn't look at the Master Engineer enough to know that if he has like actual useful combat abilities, but I know he has a gun. Always use more people with guns. But we should probably be a little bit careful about the miners. So, during the last battle, we lost a number of Slayers to miner grenades. I don't know how clear that was, but we dropped a lot of explosives directly on top of unarmored members of our own force. We should be cautious about that in the future. Also, we need to rebalance this force. This force needs more Slayers. It's cool to have, like, dwarf warriors who can actually stand against tough enemies and drag the battle out, which is beneficial to us. But Slayers are where a lot of our damage is coming from.
Show us the target!
Alright, very similar strategy here. And in fact, I think the second tower here is further away from the wall of the zone than it was in the last battle, which means we're actually going to be able to avoid getting shot by it much more easily. Everybody who's over there, get over here. I'm not going to spend a lot of effort on arranging these guys carefully when the plan is going to be to just run forward in a ball and then sort it out once we get to the wall. So everybody who is not catapults, go. So you guys, more specifically, put you in melee mode. Go bust up that wall, or go bust up that gate. Okay. So he has an entrenchment ability that gives physical resistance and armor-piercing missile damage. So he could cast this on the gunners once they're in position. Yeah, you can see the arc of this tower. We are about to be completely clear of it, and it will never get to fire on us again. Okay, so they do have some big ones on the wall this time. We probably want to hit the walls with we want to hit some parts of the wall with warriors then. You guys go up here. We'd have the unit of Slayers on this side. Just go straight up. Night Goblin Archers don't really like to fight Slayers in melee, is a thing that I feel like we've learned. And then you guys form up in front of the wall and be ready to get through that gate. And the Slayers on this side should also form up and be ready to climb the ladders after the Dwarf Warriors get up. And the Quarrelers should probably just open fire. Man, goblins don't stand up against catapults very well. The miners, they've done a good job of focusing damage on the miners, but not good enough. Did you just get off the wall?
The runes glow. Go!
The gunner can probably stand out here and wait. It's not a big deal for a lot of our units to just take shots because most of our units are shielded and are resisting a lot of the frontal damage. Alright, yeah, this is going terribly for them already. What's that gate doing? Man, miners really work a gate over. Miners out, warriors in, and of course, Ungrim the Rumen Master can lead the charge. Thorgrim, where you going, buddy? He's a little confused. This is probably a good time to start remembering to use abilities.
Let the vengeance begin!
Actually, you guys could probably just go up the wall.
Move now!
There's a very small area where you can click to actually get that that ladder order. There it is. Very precise. Actually, I guess he should be near the other guys so that he can use his ability on them.
Miners, get your beards up there.
Alright, well I think that's all there is to that. This dude is losing his duel with Ungrim Ironforge, or Ungrim Iron Fist, as people generally do. Can I get him out? No, he's too surrounded by orcs. Alright, just fight stuff. Just stand there and murder dudes. There's a button to turn off. Oh, there we go. The UI elements. We can just observe this battle. Man, I wouldn't want to be an orc facing down this. Like, even if you manage to hack your way through the 100 dwarves in front, there's still so much stuff coming through. Alright, we should probably continue to pay attention to the battle. Wow, they've completely lost the gate already.
Dwarf warriors, at once unite. Dwarf warriors,
Gotta get through as much as you can. Here comes this dude again. Yeah, we control the towers now.
warriors.
Okay, this is over. I don't know actually even why. I don't even know why they haven't surrendered yet. Try to shoot those night goblins from the wall. See what you can do.
For the ancestors, I kill them.
They should stop getting up on the wall. This is not helping them.
Vengeance
Looks like Ungrim's in on their lord here.
for the ancestors.
Where'd that dude go? I guess Ungrim killed him right as we zoomed in. We didn't actually get a notification that the enemy lord was wounded. Oh, you know, I think that was a goblin. Yeah, goblin big boss. That's a lord, not a hero. 117 losses, not bad. You can see pretty spread out. No unit took too much damage, so the replenishment will be quick. And that gets us another gold mine. All of a sudden, things are really looking up for our economy. Catapults are leveling up. That's useful. I didn't mention this, but regiments of renown are always max rank. They're always level 9. So that's another way in which they are just a little bit better than units of their base type. They always have those bonus stats from being max level. Our unit of gunners barely got any kills there, unfortunately, but these units also are doing quite well on level. Honestly, this is a pretty good army. If we get a couple more units of Slayers in here to up the damage output, I think this is a fine early game dwarf army. I had some serious misgivings about it not that long ago, but we've managed to reshape it into something pretty dangerous. And although I don't think dwarf miners are a great unit in general, having one unit of miners in an army certainly provides some nice utility. Only 195 gold from looting that army in the settlement. Goblins just don't have nice stuff, you know?
checks.
Okay, we've unlocked a new regiment of renown, the Warriors of Dragonfire Pass. Dragonfire Pass is an actual location on the map. I think this is it, I believe. It is a place that is of significant importance in the lore, and I know basically nothing about it. Alright, I think we should just grab Inquiring Mind. We're here, we can spend 1 skill point to get 10% research rate. Let's do that. It turns out we have a lot of technologies to get through. And we may as well grab that Regiment of Renown, why not? So, armored and shielded, they are anti-infantry, they do fire damage. You can see the fire symbol next to their melee attack. What is their infantry bonus? 6? People are telling me that despite the fact that typed bonuses are always shown in the damage area, they also give melee attack. So like this bonus versus infantry is 6 melee attack versus infantry and 6 weapon strength, which makes them even better than I thought they were. And our engineers leveled up a little bit. I think we're gonna go ahead and take all of the points of increased mobility as soon as they're available. But aside from that, we're gonna focus him on improving our ranged units within the army. Dwarf artillery is already very good, so any improvement we can get to that is very welcome. And they've managed to build how did they build a bunch of stuff but not put a mine down here? So they made a Slayer Shrine.
The Slayer in me seeks death.
You know what? I'm going to recruit another unit of Slayers, or oh, we have access to Longbeards here. Hold on. Longbeard versus Warrior. Warriors have 2 more speed, 800 less health, 15 less armor, 10 less leadership. Yeah, so basically, Longbeards are just better than Warriors. In particular, a lot of melee attack and melee defense. And they have the Old Grumbler's trait. Longbeards have an encouraging effect on their allies' leadership should the Lord be absent. Okay, so they have a leadership aura like Lords do. And it's just that those auras don't stack. You only benefit from one at a time. That's actually pretty interesting. You know, this province is built up in a way that I do really like. Be a shame to lose any of these buildings. I think I'm going to cut the Slayer Shrine for the gold mine. Obviously, we need the gold mine. Slayer Shrines do give a lot of Untainted. And we are suffering vampire corruption even down here. Yeah, we're going to be at war with those vampires before too long. So we got to stop the corruption. I don't want to cut an income building for another income building. It's going to be the Slayer Shrine. Right, because yeah, I want to have access to this recruitment. In particular, Longbeards. And Longbeards with great weapons. Alright, yeah, let's cut the Slayer Shrine. I just won't recruit Slayers. I'll recruit a unit of Longbeards in that spot instead. Okay, Longbeards are a fair amount more expensive to hire.
My vows will be satisfied with this.
Alright, so next turn we'll start construction on the gold mine. And in fact, because I'm nervous about my ability to remember stuff, we're gonna leave this guy back here, and he's gonna be part of Thorgrim's army. Because I'm nervous about my ability to remember stuff, we're gonna go ahead and start the next turn. I'm gonna build the mine. I'm not gonna recruit Thorgrim Grudgebearer just yet. Let's have one more turn of good income, because it doesn't look like we're actually in danger up here at the moment. Maybe we'll bring him in next turn. But I want to get construction on this gold mine started before we before we end the episode, because I'm terrified that I will forget. Okay, the main greenskin faction has been invited to fight us by the Bloody Spears. That probably has no effect on us right now, because I believe that the main greenskin faction is to the southwest of the Bloody Spears. We're not going to see any greenskin armies, but it will matter as the war with the Bloody Spears winds down, provided that we are able to push through them, which I guess I'm just assuming we will do. I'm definitely feeling a lot more secure about our economy here than I was at the beginning of the episode, or even at any point in the series up till now. Carrick Hearn and the Bloody Hands are at war. Carrick Hearn is to the west of us. They're like right across Dragonfire Pass is Carrick Hearn's lands. And the Bloody Hands, the Bloody Hands are Wurzag's tribe. So it's a group of savage orcs and shamans and stuff. I can't imagine. I thought the Bloody Hands started like way down here, so I can't imagine Carrick Hearn's actually in much danger from them. It's just all of the greenskin tribes declaring war on each other's enemies. And we've got the quest for the Dragon Cloak of Fire Scar. For Scar, who knows? Raid any region belonging to the Greenskins with Ungrim Iron Fist. Well, that'll be easy enough. A message has arrived from High King Thorgrim Grudgebearer. The scroll is a long one, with well over half of it detailing the many enmities recorded in the Great Book of Grudges against the foul Greenskins, an interminable list that is engraved as deeply on Ungrim's heart as on that of any other dwarf. Now Thorgrim plans to set in motion a campaign to strike a telling blow against the Urks and Groby, so that their stain might be erased from the face of the old world once and for all. Alright, that seems a little extreme. Before the final blow can be struck, they must be weakened in stages, and the first step is to reconnoiter their territory in force. Also, the clans are not happy. Well, they never are, but they are particularly grumpy at the moment. Grumbling clan lords are meeting in moots and muttering about your reign. 3 turns of -4 public order. That, I think, is not enough to cause a real problem. Yeah, that effect will end before it would be a serious issue. Let's do this. Look at me not forgetting. Hold on. What's this? The Brightstone Mine. Oh wow, that's a lot of money. Plus 10% trade income faction-wide, minus upkeep for all artillery in all of your armies, and 1,500 income. Okay, we're making this, it turns out, instead of the, shoot, should I get rid of the other recruitment buildings so we can also build the gold mine? Maybe. I don't know, we definitely gotta start in on this. Holy crap, that's a good... Okay, we gotta protect this settlement. People could come up from Mount Squighorn, but it's a pretty long run. I don't think our army has to stay here.
To die in battle.
We need to head toward Grand Peak and finish off the province. Mount Goodbad can fend for itself, sort of. It's going to be 5 turns until this is built, but once it's built, it provides a couple of extra units for the garrison. The thing is, I really want to get moving on this legendary item quest, essentially, especially since we didn't pick up our first legendary. Let's get over here into Goblin territory. We have already healed from the battle.
It is time.
Oh. Huh.
The true von Carstein.
What is this?
Do not underestimate the danger
Interesting.
thou art in.
They're not at war.
Mine patience wears thin for thy parley.
Alright, Manfred, calm down. They're not at war with the goblins. They're not at war with us. Why is this army here? Huh. Well, I'd be lying if I said I wasn't very worried about this. Are they scouting us? Do they intend to declare war soon? And this army's in terrible shape. It's a good army. The Graveguard are serious units. Very, very good fighters. They have a number of real anti-infantry cavalry units, and they have this thing, a Vargulf, which if you haven't seen one of these before, is kind of like... imagine a terrifying vampire bat monster mixed with an elephant. It's like a war mammoth bat monster thing. Not looking forward to having to deal with that. Although, it probably is worth noting that Ungrim Iron Fist does do bonus damage against large, doesn't he? And I guess actually has bonus melee attack against large as well. Yeah, I don't know what's going on here. This is very strange. But I think this is where we're going to call it for today. I'm going to give some serious thought, and do leave in the comments your thoughts on whether we should recruit Thorgrim's army now or whether we should wait a couple of turns and just bask in our incredible amount of income. And that is going to be it for us for today. Thank you all so much for watching. Come back next time to maybe find out what the heck these vampires are doing. And we'll see you then.